Yo, what is going on guys, Byeee here and welcome back to another video. And in this video I'll be showcasing my render settings for my 3K special and pretty much how I make my videos and all of the secrets behind how I make my videos and pretty much some tips and tricks that you guys will learn in this video. So hopefully you guys will enjoy the rest of this video. Peace out. Alright, so let's get started right into the first step of how I make my YouTube videos. So first of all, you're going to need a recording software, and if you guys didn't know, I do use Action as my recording software. So here it is. I'm just going to open up Action right now. So it's open right now, and pretty much if you're using Action, what you really want to do for my settings, you want to go to the first tab for video recording, and then under video recording it will say recording mode. Honestly, if you're recording games, choose this, but if you're recording your screen, desktop recording, or doing tutorials like me right now, just choose these two. Currently I'm not going to choose that because obviously it's not going to work, because currently I'm using OBS to record this video for you guys. So second thing is you want to choose file format. Make sure to always choose AVI unless you have a hardware acceleration system. Then definitely choose the other option. That's gonna be like an additional option for people who have a hardware acceleration CPU, but I don't, so I can only choose these two basic general options. So you go for AVI because AVI, honestly, in my opinion at least, I tested both MP4 and AVI. AVI has better quality and it increases your gaming performance, so it's not as laggy as MP4. MP4 lags for me, my PC, a lot. But the only issue about AVI is it just takes up a bit more of your space on your PC. So choose AVI. I'd honestly just recommend using AVI. And then you want to go to video size. So video size, this is a huge important part. If you're going to record in 720p or 1080p, definitely choose these two options. But if you don't know what you're recording in, just choose original, because when you load up your game like Minecraft, I just set the Minecraft native resolution to 1280 by 720, so always choose an original as your video size. Unless your video is like super tiny or your gameplay super tiny, definitely choose the others, but other than that, choose original. Next thing, video frame rate. So video frame rate, this is super important as well when it comes to like gaming performance and how pretty much your video looks like. The first thing, obviously, you will see 60 FPS, and that's the first option, is because 60 FPS videos is super common on YouTube nowadays. So definitely choose 60 FPS. That's what I choose. Definitely don't choose 100. I mean, you can use 122, but there's like some custom stuff you're gonna have to do with 120 FPS. And I honestly don't recommend going below 30 FPS. Now duration, uncheck that because it doesn't really do anything, just limits how long your video is. Now you want to check the microphone part. Always make sure it's on always record. Unless you're a person that does like commentaries where you stutter a lot, you definitely want to choose these other two buttons. We have to hold a button down. I don't know how it really works because I never really tried it before, but yeah. So webcam, if you have one, you can choose that. Time shift, just uncheck that because I don't think that's necessary. Live streaming, though, you can skip to all the way to the last gear, the gear ball part. Now for this part, general settings, you just want to check these three things. They don't really affect your video performance, but just check these three things. And then this is a huge important part too. You want to keep and remember, go to video recording settings, and what you want to do for the video quality is definitely make sure it's at ultra, because ultra is high quality resolution and high quality videos. Instead of putting low, choose ultra, because honestly I don't see any difference in like gaming performance. I don't really see any FPS drops when it comes to low or ultra, so definitely keep it at ultra just because there's not much really risk when you're using ultra, so keep it at ultra. And bitrate MP4, if you're using MP4 you can change this, but usually just keep it at 100% because why not. And 0 to 255. Now I want to choose the full because limits your video quality. Also changes the color scheme on the video, so it's kind of weird. Just choose the 0 to 255 because 16 to 235 is kind of like non-constant bitrate, which you do not want. So full, and you want to use multi-recording. I don't know what this does necessarily, but just make sure to check it. And record mouse cursor, this is your choice. You can or you do not have to. And then what you want to do is you want to go to audio settings. And now these are the two audio settings that you're gonna need for recording audio in your videos. Pretty much for this, you can see this is the microphone settings. This is the audio settings, which means your headphones or your earbuds. I don't know, whatever speakers, whatever you use for your sound, PC sound. Just choose it. For me, you can see it right in the behind. I use VoiceMeeter, so for me I'll just choose VoiceMeeter input just because that's the name of the thing. So you can see VoiceMeeter right there. Yeah, right there. And then bitrate, just keep this at default. Don't mess around with this because you're not 100% sure, unless you're 100% sure that you know what your bitrate is at. Other than that, keep at default and check these two boxes. They're really important. And then you want to go to microphone settings. Now for microphone settings, for audio device, it's kind of self-explanatory. This is going to be your default microphone. So you can either choose system default if you have made a system default profile already in your system. You can see right now mine is not default because I'm using VoiceMeeter, so I have to set VoiceMeeter as default. So for me, I can either choose system default or VoiceMeeter output. It's the same exact thing. And I'll get to my VoiceMeeter settings later on in this video. So if you guys are wondering like what my VoiceMeeter settings are and how it affects your mic quality, I'll get to that later on in this video. But definitely check out VoiceMeeter output. Definitely check out VoiceMeeter Banana. It's a free program. It's literally legit hacks. So definitely check it out. And you can see I'm gonna choose VoiceMeeter output, and then you want to choose volume. Make sure this is at 100%, just because for the fun of it. Just please put it at 100%, just because. I believe this is set to default. Yeah, sets to default. Default's at 90. Put it at 100%, just because you want crispy, clear audio. So keep it 100%, and in case it doesn't record your voice, just keep it 100%, because yeah, that's 100%. And record microphone into separate audio track. Check this unless you're not recording like game sounds. But other than that, definitely check this thing, because it separates your game sounds and your microphone sounds, so they don't get mixed into one track and you will hear blobs like everywhere, where the game sound will overlap the audio sound, and you don't want to do that. So just keep it at just check this box for me, please. And then audio balance, just keep it at 100%. There's no point in having system sounds at 100% or even like higher than 0%, just unless you're not choosing the separate audio track option. But if you aren't, then you want to move this around, test around with it. But if you are, then just keep it 100%, because yeah, you can see default is that, but just keep it 100%. And this, you do not, I don't know what this does. I believe it's like a delay when you start recording, but just don't mess around with that. In HUD, you can copy these settings down. I just don't choose this because I don't have a webcam. Export doesn't really matter. And these are pretty much my keystrokes, what I use my shortcut keys. Yeah, my shortcut keys. So you guys can take a screenshot right now or pause the video for these. But yeah, here it is. And yeah, here's the rest. So that's pretty much about it for my action settings. Now, time to go into my VoiceMeeter settings. So now, first of all, you want to install VoiceMeeter Banana on Google, so you can search it up on their on pretty much their website. I was gonna say channel, but VoiceMeeter Banana has a channel too. You want to go to the page, click on that, the first option, and then you can scroll down, and then you want to see the download button. So yeah, right there. You want to click the install, not the download. Download takes a bit longer, so just click install. Actually, install takes a bit longer, just because it's much faster to do instead of like to set up instead of the .zip package. So choose exe, install it. I'm not going to install it because I already have the program right here in front of you, so it's pretty obvious I'm not going to waste so much space on my PC. I do have 2 terabytes, so it doesn't really matter anyway. So you can see here is my voice. You can see my mic volume is going up and down, so that's just like the wave volumes or wavelengths for all your audio tracks and stuff like that. This isn't only a microphone editing software, this is also a live audio editing. So you can see the hardware out and the hardware input. That's what you're gonna set in for your actions. So yeah, hardware input number 1, you're gonna have to choose your microphone. I don't want to change this setting real quick right now because it might change or affect the video quality right now. Hardware input number 2, I don't mess around with any of these two. So unless you have like a extra microphone you want to record with, or you want to record with someone else next to you and you don't want to share a microphone, you can like use two separate microphones, and you can just like, yeah, pretty much you can choose to hear and mess around with these settings too. You can play around with these settings, and obviously these are my settings for my mic part and my audio part. So if you guys want the settings, it will be down in the description below. And the cool thing about this program is you can load settings and save your own presets. So here are my 2 presets. My first one, they're obviously a bit different because like mic quality wise, you know, I'm just like playing around with a lot of mic quality, and if I don't like the preset or setting, then I'll just go back to my save preset. So that's something good about this program I really like. You know, you can do all these things, just don't mess around with that. You want to go to virtual inputs, and this usually it's default, so you can't really change it. And for me, I just put my bass at 1.9 just because I like a more bassy sound than a clear just stereo sound. So definitely put that bass up a bit, yeah. and then you want to go to hardware out. Now this is really important. You want to make sure you select WDM speakers. You choose your speakers or whatever headset you have or headphones. For me, it's gonna be a headset, and WDM. You want to choose WDM. Also for the microphone part, I forgot to say, you also gotta choose WDM. Like super important when it comes to this part, because if you don't choose WDM, the quality is gonna get a bit worse. So you might as well just choose WDM for better quality. And for these other two, if you don't have any other speakers you want it to come out, which actually is a really neat thing on this program, that you can have multiple speakers creating sound at once. So that's something really cool about this program that other programs like Audacity don't have. So I have speakers and I have headphones, you know, earbuds. I can put all three at once and boom, stereo movie theater. Yeah. But yeah, so the next thing you want to do is you just want to go to A2 and A3, and you want to pretty much just click on them and click remove device selection, which I already did. So click on those two since you're not going to use any more devices. And then when you come here, you can mess around with this. You can see my voice might sound a bit different up here. It might sound pretty cringy, and you can see the volume also changes a bit depending on where you put this setting right here. Testing 1 2 3. I want to put that back, maybe, yeah, right there, something like that, right there. There you go. So mine is already at top and at edge and below that line right there, because you can mess around with that depending on the mic or your voice. Honestly, like the settings, it might really depend on how your voice sounds and your mic quality in general. So people who don't have, like, there isn't really a specific amazing quality setting you gotta pick. Also, another really important thing, this you can move up the comp and gate audibility. This is where you remove like static and noise, hissing sound. So that's something real cool. I just keep it at 0 because I don't have like fans in the summer on top of my face, so I don't need to worry about that. And then the next thing is the volume. Now you can move this up and down if you want. You can hear my voice sound super loud here, or you can just move it down. Honestly, I just move it down just because I don't want to really mess around with that much. Also, another thing, you want to go to your audio soundtrack. This is also super duper important, because it took me a while to figure out why I was having this issue. But because if you're using a record microphone and separate audio track action setting, then you want to make sure your microphone's on B1 or B2. So those are mainly the mic audio tracks, and then these two you can like ignore. I just keep it at A1 because I don't want to mess around with the default settings. So default, usually they will have B1 and B1 here, but remove those two B1s, uncheck them, make sure none of the stuff here are checked, and make sure A1 is checked on the third column. Yeah, and then for the virtual inputs, you want to check A1 so those two happen at the same exact time, and they don't mess around with the microphone, so you won't hear your microphone and like your audio at the same exact time, so the quality won't get like screwed up, like I said before, into two audio tracks. So nothing like that fancy will be happening, you know. It's gonna help out some of your audio editing and make your life much easier. So that's pretty much all about my VoiceMeeter banana settings. If you guys want more of these settings, you know, I got 2 settings. I don't know which setting you guys want me to use, but I have another one where it goes pretty low down there, so you can, you know, you can just mess around with all that stuff. But Alright, so you can see right now I accidentally closed out VoiceMeeter, and that's why you don't want to close out VoiceMeeter, because you have to have the program open at all times when you're recording, or even when you're talking on Skype or things like that, unless you're using a different microphone or audio editing program. So definitely don't click the X, click the minus button, and now you want to go to Sony Vegas. Now this is going to be the last part of how I pretty much make my videos, because mainly you're going to need an editing software. In Sony Vegas, you can see probably from the prices, it's actually it's a pretty expensive program. You can see it's ranging from, somehow this is, I believe this is really, for some reason, some like places they sell, or websites they sell it for like under $100, but the default premium one is $500, the default from Sony, so they sell that at $500, so that's actually really expensive. So I mean, unless you want to go on the expensive side, I guess you can just get, Sony Vegas. So next thing you want to do is you want to find a video. Now I don't have a raw video like that. I did not edit yet, so you can see I'm just gonna go in action. Yeah, I do not have a raw video file for you guys to check out, so I'm gonna what you want to do is I'm just gonna import this video. For example, I already did all the CC and editing into this video, so the quality might seem really bad after I do all my settings and stuff like that, just because I already added the settings and you don't want to double the settings again. So you know, this is not gonna be the actual quality. This is just my settings for how I make every single one of my videos. So what we want to go do is really just open Sony Vegas, find one of your intros. So I have some intros to pick from. I'm just gonna choose this one because why not? And then you want to go to tools, and then I believe it's insert, and then video track. So adds another video track on top, or you could right click here, insert video track, but I just do it lazy way, tools, insert video track. So either way it works. You want to move this one. Now you can see if you're recording with action, you're gonna see like two pretty much audio tracks, and one of them is your game sound and one's your mic sound. So I would honestly just separate every single audio track from each other, because you're gonna be doing a lot of audio editing, things like that. So, and just like balancing the volume for all these tracks. So you just want to right click on your video, group, and then remove from, and then this way you can move the audio track without moving the video clip. So you can see the video clips obviously gonna be at the same exact track as the video parts, and just mess around with the audio parts. You know, I'm just gonna put this back right there because you gotta align and sync these audio perfectly. And there you go. Now you can just double click and it selects everything. But pretty much the first thing what I do, I just select everything obviously. And then what you want to do next is you want to go to this gear, project video settings. Now this is super important. So what you really want to do is you want to make sure the width is 920 by 1080, frame rate 60 FPS, or just the last button option. Resample mode disable, and you copy these other stuff down, doesn't really matter. And then you want to make sure uncheck this, never check that, because they're gonna change your quality and stuff. And then you really want to do is you want to check this one, so it starts out with this project setting every time you load in Sony Vegas, apply, and hit OK. Now the next step is adding CC. Now you obviously when you start making a video, you can see the intro here. You want to click on this button right here on the video track, and then you want to go to, let me see if I can find it right now. Pretty sure it's saturation adjust. Yeah, saturation adjust. You can see the options you choose on the top left, and then you want to go to levels, double click it again because I'm gonna add two different types of levels. And then the last but not least, you want to go to sharpen, click OK, and then this is where you edit all the stuff, the cool stuff. So saturation, I just use my regular option. You can copy these settings down, whatever, blah 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 blah. These two, just don't mess around with them. Then you want to go to levels, and you want to make sure this is a computer studio RGB to studio RGB, because the render settings I'm going to be using are MP4, so the quality, it's going to affect, for some reason when you're rendering in MP4 with Sony Vegas, it's going to affect the CC and color correction of your video, and you do not want that to happen to you. So pretty much what you're going to do is just going to choose this last preset right here. Then you want to go to next levels. This one, I'm going to choose my brightness settings, so it makes the video more vibrant, more bright, and unlike you don't want to see super dark YouTube videos out there, you know. They just look really horrible. And you can just copy these settings down here. But pretty much for levels, if you're going to be editing, you want to uncheck this, and then after you're done editing, you got to check this before you render the video, because it's going to help a lot with the color correction. You want to go to sharpen, and this is just a default setting for sharpen, you know. Adds more of a sharpness. You can see the sharpness. You can see the shadows pretty much under the text. It just makes things stand out a bit more, makes things pretty much a bit more 3D and stuff like that. And the next thing I usually do for my videos, I would, first of all, for the intro, I just fade in offset for like 1 second. You can see fade out for 1 second, or maybe less than 1 second, and fade in for 1 second. And pretty much in the beginning of the video, what I usually do, and this is my other intro because I already edited this video, but you want to go to the Minecraft part. So see this part, I'm just gonna get the beginning part, and pretty much this is where I say my intro. And what you want to do is you want to click on this right there, you want to Gaussian blur, click OK, and then this part you want to just click 0.150. Well, I made this preset. You can also save presets for settings that I use. So everything is called 0.0150, so that's why I named the preset 0.150. You can see it makes everything a bit blurry. So the other reason why I have another video track on top, you guys may be wondering from the beginning, is you want to find your profile picture. So for me that would be, can't really find it right now. I think it's, Yeah, right here. I made a circle profile picture because why not? So you want to just like put the profile picture for the same exact full duration. You want to make a fade in like always, usually to make it look more smooth. And then you can see pretty much it looks a bit too big. So what you really want to do is you can see if you move this to the left, it's gonna like crop for some reason by itself. So you want to restore preset. You want to go for under preset. You want to go to 16:9 widescreen TV aspect ratio. So this way, now if you're moving left or right, it's not going to affect anything. So that's really cool. Something really cool I figured out. And also on the left, make sure to select these two. They're super important because you want to make sure it keeps at the constant size that's supposed to be at. So just size it however big you want. Honestly, I would just recommend this somewhat of this size. You can see that is pretty much how I start my videos, you know. Go over what I decided. See that kind of blur, and you can also add some effects where you can see on the bottom right here it says position. You can change the position or how big the image turns out. So for me, usually if I go into the thing, also make sure sync cursor is on, so like you can like sync while you're editing. So click on position, click on that diamond button, and then actually I want to go to beginning, and then you want to just make it bit smaller at the beginning. Also delete this part. I did not mean to do that. So click this part. You want to uncheck sync cursor right now because you're not going to need to sync stuff. And then we come over here so you can see the image. You want to make it a bit smaller, so it's going to start out usually like that small. That's actually not that small. So let's start out like that, and then what you want to do is now you click sync cursor so it goes to wherever your timeline is, wherever you are on the video, and then you want to go somewhat, I think honestly like somewhat halfway, and then you want to create keyframe, and then you want to size it so that it turns a bit smaller. So right now you can see it's gonna zoom like that, and there you go. Now it's gonna zoom a bit smaller, and then you can put at the end something like that, and then you want to go to the end of the video, create keyframe. And then you can just do a lot of random stuff you want to do like at the end. So maybe like I say, you can see it turns big. Maybe you can make it like turn super small again. And there you go. That's pretty much how I do the beginning part of my videos. Now you can preview this video right now. I'm just gonna put preview auto so you can actually preview this video. Pretty much. I just wanna. The quality's not that great when you preview, but you can see. Yeah, that's how I decided to do something. And something related to your sensitivity. Now a lot of guys know that I use sensitivity. If I were the person that was editing the video, I would just try to like make the video a bit more smoother. So what you really want to do for that transition is you want to go to position, click on the diamond, right click, and then you want to go to you want to go to the end of this part and select all of it. So select all of the pretty much the keyframes, and then you want to go to smooth, so it makes everything way more smooth, and that's actually really cool. So in the middle one, honestly I just put it at fast just because it makes it like a faster transition. Decided pretty much. I just wanna if you go see, over what I decided. See, it's a bit faster there, and then I decided to do something related to your sensitivity. Now a lot of guys know that I use video, and you can see also if you see. I'm gonna unsync the cursor real quick so I can see the part. You can see it zooms in a bit too much. So what I would just usually do is I'll just make that part usually a bit smaller, maybe like that. Maybe yeah. I think that's good. For some reason it's not working right now with me. Not so sure why, but I think I'm just gonna make it like that. Let's see if it works. Related to your sensitivity. I guess it's not really working as I intended. It's actually, never mind. It's gonna work now. Never mind. My fault. Here, let me delete that point. Go back here, and now I'm just gonna make it a bit bigger so it doesn't like turn too tiny. Something related to your sensitivity. Oh, what the heck? Okay. I'm just gonna make it a bit bigger again. Oh, jeez, man. It's not working that great. Right, to do something related to your sensitivity. Now a lot of guys know that. Yeah, so that's why also it makes everything more smooth, and you can see the transition when it disappears is also more smooth. So make sure you have this loop region at the end from the beginning into the end of your video. And then what I usually do is I would add my outro. If you have an outro, you just drag it in right there. And pretty much, you know, you just put the video outro here, and then you can put whatever you want behind the videos. So I'll just put another YouTube video that's similar to this video. Like I'll just put it on the bottom of here. So remove from, obviously delete the audio track. Maybe I think it's, yeah, I'm just gonna move this up, so that's why you have more space for another audio track. Pretty much this part, I think it's the right place, yeah. For this one, you're gonna have to, what you really want to do is wanna actually make a new video track, and you want to move this up because something that you're gonna do in this is gonna be different. So you can see that it's gray in the back. So what you want to do is you want to go here. You want to go to a 3D source alpha. Right click this, properties, and then this only works if you have a black background. And Sony Vegas just screws up everything. So we'll go to pre-multiplied, and now you can see it's actually transparent. So that's actually something really cool I noticed and figured out. See, preview isn't that good quality, but if you put in best full, see the quality is a bit better. See, that's how pretty much it works. I mean, that's the best they can do. You can see the videos right here, and you can just show different parts of your video. So now next thing you want to go to file, render as, and this is, I know this is a really long video, but I want to go to Sony AVC/MVC, scroll down, go to internet 1920 by 1080 customized template, and I already have a saved preset, but what I want to do is you want to go to this. I'll also make a screenshot or image or something like that in the description below, so you guys can just definitely check that out. You can see that that's the size and frame rate. There you go, 59.9999. Bitrate, put this at max, so 29 million. GPU if available, and video rendering quality best. In audio, just you can either at 128 or 192. So those are the only two differences. And this one you just want to keep AVC. And don't uncheck this. Don't check these two because it's gonna adjust your frame rate. And then you want to go system. Now, if you click check GPU, and if it says you have a GPU, like for example for me it'll be OpenCL is available, then you want to choose rendered using GPU if available. If you don't have a GPU, it doesn't say, or there's no like check GPU button, then just use the CPU, just because it's you probably don't have a GPU, it's not gonna work. So you can also make some save presets. So I already made my preset here. Just gonna change the GPU, and then you can pretty much click render, and there you go. That's how your video is gonna start rendering. You can see the preview screen that's rendering right now. So that's pretty much about it. How I make my videos. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like down below. Also, this is gonna be my 3K special. So if you guys did not know, this is gonna be my 3K special video. And that's about it for this video. If you guys did enjoy or like any parts of this video, make sure to comment that down below, your favorite parts of this video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.